First leg of the quaddie is race 5. It jumps at 3 o'clock. It's Old Mate Sports Bar and Eatery Handicap over 1,300 metres, and we'll have a look at the most recent performance of Apollo.
As they straighten up, then Yellowkai for the back in the field with Crystal Dane and Dolly M. Gillespie's getting pretty badly held up here, and Spirit and Fire has raced up to Icemaker. Gillespie trying to come through nearer the inside. Also now Stormy Aura starting to come through inside the 250 though, and Spirit and Fire has broken nicely clear. It is doing it well over Yellowkai, coming through Apollo late, but it's an easy win to Spirit and Fire.
Plenty of excuses for Apollo there last start. It jumped awkwardly, ended up 3 back to fence, was never clearing the straight and made some really strong ground over the last 100 metres. But it's also just been running in career best form for Steve Wolf. The step up in distance looks ideal. It was definitely doing its best work through the line there, and all things being equal, it should get itself into a good position from gate 4. I'd love to see it settle just a little bit closer as it did in previous starts. Second pick is the 7 Bucktorio, 95 days off. It's had the one trial. There was no real intent in that trial. It was just happy to sit out the back and went to the line under a hold. I think, again, it's another horse that will appreciate any tempo, and first up it just might have that bit of freshness in its legs. Third pick is the 3 Kakadu. I was expecting more from this galloper last start, but it was ridden more positive, sat 1 out 1 back, and now with a wide gate, I suspect they'll probably take a sit further back in the field. It did run a bit of a up and down sectional time on that occasion. It was start-stop for a lot of the race, so I'm prepared to give it one more chance here at a track that it does usually perform well at. And then fourth pick is the 4 Regal Council, who wasn't suited last start in the early stages of the race. It was squeezed, ended up 4 back to fence, and didn't really have any joy in the straight. So I think, again, from the gate, it should be able to settle itself a bit more forward. On top, in race 5, is 2 Apollo from 7 Bucktorio, 3 Kakadu and 4 Regal Council. Race 6 at Belmont jumps at 3:35. It's the Perth Racing Club membership handicap over 1,300 metres, and we'll have a look at the most recent trial of Picture Perfect.
Perfect, Charouz nearer the inside, and coming widest of all is Nordic King. Ask for the effort in front. Next stop, the Moon leads narrowly over Retasona. 3 wide is Picture Perfect starting to come on. Very wide on the track. Ragnar's Saga is winding up. Hitting the front nearer the inside though. It is Retasona. Retasona is forged to the lead, and Retasona has won.
Ended up going a Picture Perfect on top almost by default. The horse has only had 1 start so far at the races, and that was at Bunbury. And the horse ran a really good last 600 and last 400 split on that occasion, albeit off quite a slow tempo. So from gate 1, I'm expecting the horse will probably settle in the first 4 gallopers. It showed a bit of early speed in its trials, and all things being equal, it should be able to utilise that turn of foot once more. Second pick is the 1 Montagna, 382 days since we've last seen it, and the one recent trial it's had, it flopped out, settled last on the inside on a moderate to slow tempo, and was basically the best going through the line. I'm expecting any tempo in the race will be suitable for the horse, and although its best figures are over slightly further, it's another horse that will appreciate genuine tempo up front. Third pick is the 10, which is Ferradieu. It's been scratched 2 times now in preparation for this, and again, it's drawn a bit awkwardly, but look, it does have the ability to settle on speed if it begins well. In the last start, it was restrained early, ended up somewhere towards the back and came widest into the straight chasing Damos, so it does look a nice form line. Fourth pick is the 7, which is Clever Keza. It jumped well. There was intent early before it was restrained back to 3 back to fence. It was never clearing the straight, and it got stuck behind a tiring group of leaders. So for me, it was a forgive. Its recent figures do map and do figure okay for this event. On top in race 6 is 5, which is Picture Perfect from 1 Montagna, 10 Ferradieu and 7 Clever Keza. Race 7 at Belmont jumps at 4:10. It's the free entry to Belmont Park handicap over 2,100 metres, and we'll have a look at the most recent performance of Media Baron last seen at Belmont.
I'm a Love Man trying to kick back on the inside of Storm Dancer. Media Baron joined in. iArt trying to go with Media Baron. Magic Las Vegas down the outside. Defiantly's travelling well. Just needs a gap now. Defiantly, it's starting to come through at the 200. Media Baron in front. Defiantly. I'm a Love Man fights back. It's Defiantly though. Racing to the lead from I'm a Love Man. Media Baron the outside. Defiantly. Clear Defiantly. Beat home Media.
It was a pretty good performance there from Media Baron there last start. It was off a very slow tempo, and that has been the way for the last couple of starts this horse has been in. I'd prefer to see it at a bit more genuine tempo up front, but nonetheless the horse was peeling out wide before the turn, making a big sustained run, but it was just out sprinted by Defiantly, who came through the middle of the pack. Recent figures for this horse do put it into a pretty good frame for this event, and this does look by far the easiest event it's come up against in quite a while. Second pick is the 2 Blue Tracer. This horse has not been suited all preparation and it's featured a few times here in the box seat. I think gate 4 looks ideal. Chris Parnham jumping on is a nice booking for the horse as well. And look, if it can begin a little bit better and not end up 3 or 4 back the fence like it has previously, I think it'll be much better suited. Third pick is the 8 Unending. The horse has a fair bit of versatility. I'd be suspecting it will roll forward from gate 6 in this occasion. Last start was 3 wide with cover, just worse than midfield. Just seemed to get a little bit too far back in that race and what was a very slowly run race. And then fourth pick is the 12 Sugarcane, who's improving with every start. Last start it was 4 back the fence, but got the split going through the middle. And again, it was finishing best over the last 200. So again, the step up, or staying at 2100 metres, but again, with more tempo in the race, I think it will be suited. On top in race 7 is the 1 Media Baron from 2 Blue Tracer, 8 Unending and 12 Sugarcane. That brings us to the last, it's race 8, jumping at 4:45, the Peninsula Dining Room handicap over 1200 metres. And for our horse and focus, we'll have a look at the most recent performance of Sir Mambo.
Outside is Nicelli. Around the turn, Classy Lassie is showing the way. War Secrets got to the outside very stylishly. Zed Storm back in the centre, then Samambo, Missing Pro weaving clear. War Secrets is after Classy Lassie, Missing Pro coming through. False Statements down the outside. Classy Lassie just in front, Samambo, Missing Pro, False Statement and War Secrets getting through. Samambo for Parnham takes the lead. And
So Mambo jumped okay, was ridden to hold the box seat, had to contend with just a small slowdown from the 600 to the 400, but it still rattled off a really impressive last 400 metre split. And look, it comes into this race with clearly the best last start figure. The horse itself has been flying over the last preparation, and I think it finds another suitable race from gate 3. Second pick is the 2 Gillespie, probably the last chance for it this preparation. I do have a query over whether or not the horse is just completely flattened by that first up run on a brutally run tempo. Last start it jumped okay, there was no real intent, and sitting in the box seat on that day or along the fence wasn't necessarily suitable. Interested to see if it improves with Lucy Warwick jumping on board as well. The third pick is the 3 Prince of Promises. Just had the one trial, it didn't have any blinkers on. It will get them for Wednesday. We saw that previous last preparation, the horse recorded some good figures, and it's just a pretty genuine on-speed type. And then fourth pick is the 8 Rose Thief. Another horse coming off a break, just had the one trial. It was sitting third off a moderate tempo with no cover, and it just loomed and peaked over the last 100 metres, but it did show that it does have a liking for a genuine speed. On top, in the last race, race 8, is the 1 Sir Mambo from 2 Gillespie, 3 Prince of Promises and 8 Rose Thief. Best bets at Belmont, race 3, number 1 Luke's Choice, and race 7, number 1 Media Baron. That's all for us here at Perth Racing. If you'd like to keep up to date with us, stay in touch via our website or social media. Until later in the week on the box seat, I'm Pete Anthonus. Good punting and go well.